Hello guys and welcome to my YouTube channel. So in today's video we'll try to get an overview of the IRCTC stock. So recently this stock has been in the news because of the split that it has announced, but we will basically cover this stock irrespective of the split news, and we'll try to see the fundamentals, the technicals, the shareholding pattern and the industry outlook to get an overview whether you should keep this stock in your portfolio or you should buy it after the split, and what basically actions can be taken. We'll basically try to see. Before going any further, I'd like to mention two important points. The first is regarding the split of a particular stock. Now, what people are generally confused about, is it a good sign, is it a bad sign? So, let me tell you that when a company or the management decides to split a share, they are allowing operators to remain in that particular stock and not allowing, not making the stock investor focus. So if you think about MRF example, the stock which has basically was trading in thousands in the 90s and currently trades at around 80,000. That stock has never the company has never announced any bonus shares or split in its entire trading history, and that's why you see like the stock kept on rising and currently trading at 80,000. So if you add a particular stock keeping in mind, like it should give a return that as of same as of MRF, then you should also look at the equity dilution that the company or the management decides on. So basically, just splitting a company or announcing bonus shares are generally considered bad from the management side, because it's allowing the stock to get manipulated by the operators when the share price gets reduced. So that's the first thing that I wanted to talk about the split itself. And the second thing that I wanted to cover regarding IRCTC stock is basically it's managed by government. Now, generally, I don't trust a particular stock or don't add a stock in my portfolio who has government, who is basically managed by government or at government regulations, because there are certain, like there are any government decision might turn around the future of the company, and there are many such scenarios in past, also in history also, that a particular stock because of the government intervention has not performed. So if you, again, if to give an idea more clarity, if you take any industry and compare a public sector company to a private sector, you'll obviously see that the private sector is well managed and well above the league of the public sector companies, just because of the fact that the government is not capable enough to manage a particular company as competitively, as aggressively as a private entity. So I always make it a point to avoid this mini ratnas and navratnas or government backed companies, sectors basically which are government regulated. I tend to avoid this sector. So within these 2 points are important because IRCTC currently lies in this particular, and I basically don't have this stock in my portfolio just because of these two reasons. But if you want to see, the fundamentals of the company, whether it's strong or not, and we can basically ignore these 2 points, then for those investors, I'll basically try to cover the fundamentals of the company. Now let's get started with the fundamentals. Now an important thing that you will see is the stock P is same as the industry P. That's because it's the only company in this particular industry. There is no other competitor. It basically monopoly enjoys a monopoly in this particular sector. That's a very awesome thing. That's a very good thing. You see, ROC ROE ratios are well above the required marks. That's a good sign. I by E ratio, which is the investments back into the business from the earnings that it is earning, is around 44%, which is again a good sign that the company is putting back its earnings into the growth of the company. Now we'll basically see where they are investing it, but it looks a positive sign. CFO by PAT, which means that the profit on paper is able to generate to cash. It's also good. Less percentage zero, again a good sign. Dividend growth, although it has to be greater than one, but due to COVID period, we can say that the dividend growth hasn't been there. When the cash producing ability is great, there is no contingent liability, there is no cash debt checks, or Altman Z score also is healthy. So from an accounting management fraud point of view, it looks quite safe, and that we don't observe any basically accounting fraud from the ratios that we have. Debt to equity is zero, and the cash producing abilities from the EBITDA is also great. Now this equity dilution that I talked about in my first point, generally good stocks like Asian Paints or MRF, if we consider and compare the number of share outstanding 10 years back to his current number of shares. It's ideally the ratio should be 1, but if the company keeps on diluting the shares, then it will basically tend to be greater than 1. So this is one more thing that you need to be aware of when you are buying a particular share and thinking that this share will type of give return as compared to MRF. So the ratio point of view, everything looks fine. If you look at the cons, there is a very serious con, and that's why I tend to avoid government companies, is because of the high debtor days. Now the debtor days is basically after 250 days the company gets paid. So whenever a company posts any profit, let's say 100 rupee profit, but something like 80 rupees is still yet to be received. It's not in hand currently, but it is about to get received. So 80 rupees is currently not in cash, and this 80 rupees I'll get after a year almost. So this is what this number suggests, this 251 days. So basically after 251 days this 80 rupees will come to me as cash. So very bad sign. Then there is again and this tends to happen in a lot of government companies because of lack of management from the government. Again, a bad sign is there is an other income which the source is sort of unknown, and there is like above 100 crores of income. The source is sort of unknown from it. So these are two major cons that we observe, right? The screener is basically telling us. Uh, if you look at the peers, there are no peers, which makes basically want us to invest in this particular stock because there are no other competitors to this stock. If you look at the profit loss statements and look at the margins are quite increasing, very steadily increasing. Profits are also, we'll completely avoid the 2021 because of the COVID. Margins seems to improving, profit seems improving, net profit is also improving, good sign. EPS seems to be dropping. Look at the profit growth and sales growth, it will be negative because of the COVID impact, so we'll basically ignore that. Cash flow, so operating cash flows looks stable, increasing also. We see a number 24 here. Now if you just break it down over here, it shows that 326 is profits and 262 is receivables. So this, they will show profit on paper, but it is yet to be received, and this received amount they are getting after 1 year. So and this is the futuristically, like this pattern will repeat again and again, and that's why I basically decide to stay away from government companies, because there is not lot of this such things that happens. So we again see a con over here. Let's see where they are investing their money. So they are investing back into the business. We don't see any investments in the mutual funds and the FDs. That's a good sign. They are investing in the company. Now if you look at the financing activities, it shows dividend paids are quite healthy, liabilities are very negligible. So overall if you see, again if you go down, the debtor days are kind of increasing, and in COVID times it's very high, but we see a trend of increasing trend in debtor days. So that's a bad sign. If you look at the promoters, it's just President of India, and FIs have increasing the stake, and DIs are also increasing the stake. So one thing that we can learn from is the FIs and DIs are buying the share just because there is like IRCTC holds a monopoly in this particular sector, and we do expect the sector to grow, and when the sector grows, the obvious benefit will be IRCTC. So that point is given, but due to the lack of management of the from the government, and if they don't act quite fast, some private player can enter this space. It's very difficult for a private player to enter this space, but I'll sort of explain the industry points in the later segment. So fundamentally the stocks looks stable. Also if you ignore the debtor days or the high amount of receivables that it shows in the profit and loss statements, the company sort of accounting point of view and the growth point of view, it looks quite stable. So these are the points that we can gauge from the fundamentals of the company. Now if you look at the technicals of the company, so this stock had made a listing on the stock market in 2019, and it basically was stable around 900 rupees. Then it sort of gave a rise till 2000. Then the COVID period hit. I don't know why this stock is trading above this price, because after it has not fully recovered from COVID. So the current price totally is unjustifiable. We can expect at least till 2000. This correcting phase will start. It will basically end at 2000. That's and after that the split will happen. So the normally the split I think would be listed around 500 to 600 range. So what there is no technical history as such, but what general idea that we can gauge from here is that we can stay invested for short term till the 900 levels. So this we see that the 900 levels is quite stable and can act as a strong resistance for the growth of the stock. So whenever after the split, if it is in the 500 600 range, then we can enter for a short term gain till 900. So that's the only thing that I can basically vouch for levels. So that's what we gauge from the technicals part of view. Now if you look at the shareholding pattern of the company, so again you can find good stable mutual funds investing in this company. Government of Singapore, which is again a major stakeholders in different companies. Like if you study the shareholding pattern of good large caps, you will find Government of Singapore holding stake in those companies, which is a good sign. LIC also holds a stake in the company. Foreign portfolio, there are 122 foreign portfolios holding 8% of the stake. So it looks quite stable from the shareholding point of view. Now we'll basically look at the industry growth also. Now this entire bet that FIIs and DI are doing are basically based on the fact that number of more people will be traveling from trains, and more and basically since IRCTC enjoys a monopoly, the sole benefiter will be IRCTC. I'd like to also mention one point that majority of its revenue comes from this catering business. Now if you read about it, the IRCTC is mainly into catering and hospitality services, and majority of its revenue comes from catering business. Now you must have also experienced this while going in trains. You will always order the food, and there are tie-ups, different tie-ups on stations also of IRCTC. But you can also see like private players entering this space because they see an opportunity in this space and they can enter this place. For just to give an example, I don't know whether it's like how accurate this information is, but Domino's also start delivering pizza whenever the train is on station. So that likewise, if the government doesn't remain competitive in this space and doesn't remain active, the private players can enter and buy out this particular majority monopoly that IRCTC holds currently. And if this catering business is like after it doesn't enjoy monopoly, then it might be used loss in future. So the sole purpose that I am avoiding this stock is because it's government managed, and we don't see any active competitiveness or like aggressive nature from the government than we get it from the private players. So an overall view, I can give you that for short-term period after the split, we can enter till the 900 levels. But after all, I don't see any points to be invested in this particular company for a long term. So that was my point of view. I hope you like the content of the video. If you enjoy the video, please share your reactions by liking or disliking the video. If you have any comment, please write in the comment section. If you haven't subscribed the channel, please do. It will encourage me to put more such contents. So thanks for watching the video. Take care. Bye.